For the best soul food in the Mid-South, it's Shop and Save. 1499 South 3rd, 901-946-4303. Serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And some of the items on their menu consist of catfish, spaghetti, chicken and dressing, turkey wings, meatloaf, fried chicken, cabbage, yams, greens, salmon croquette, and the list goes on. Some of the best soul food you ever taste in the Mid-South, it is Shop and Save. 1499 South 3rd. Call them again at 901-946-4303. Been in business since 1991. Shop and Save, 1499 South 3rd, 901-946-4303 for some of the best soul food you'll ever taste.
I watch y'all coming here for years because you shot somebody. Now your life is shot. You gonna pick that phone up one day and that girl gonna be done dumped you and raise your child with another man. Or maybe your mama or your grandmama dies. Cause ain't nothing you can do about it. You got 15 to 20 years, state or fed time. Real talk. Don't lose your head, use your head, man. Gun crime, max time.
This pandemic has hit us hard, but Tennesseans don't stay down for long. We're known for our resilience, and we refuse to back down from a challenge. This challenge is no different. You might be out of work, but there's an opportunity waiting for you. We need you to roll up your sleeves and join our workforce. Right now, thousands of jobs are ready to be filled. Find them at jobsfortn.gov. Let's get to work, Tennessee.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol, here to explain the Tennessee Hands-Free Law, which is a new state law effective July 1st, 2019. In Public Chapter 412, it makes it illegal for a driver to hold a cell phone or a mobile device with any part of their body, to write, send, or read any text-based communication, to reach for a cell phone or mobile device in a manner that requires the driver to no longer be in a seated driving position or properly restrained by a seatbelt, to watch a video or a movie on a cell phone or a mobile device, and to record or broadcast video on a cell phone or mobile device. So, can I still talk on my cell phone while driving? Yes. A driver is permitted to use an earpiece, headphone device, or a device worn on a wrist to conduct a voice-based communication. The driver may use one button on a cell phone or mobile device to initiate or terminate voice communication, and voice-based communication may also be used to send a text message. Learn more at handsfreetn.com.
Like bees.
Welcome. We are live and in full effect. Talk Sports Live in the building on a Friday. It is 5:09. 9 minutes past the hour of 9. I'm at 10 minutes now past the hour of 5 o'clock in the afternoon on this Friday, man. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all for joining me today. Got another great one lined up for y'all, man. So much to get into. So much going on in the world of sports, period. Whether you're talking locally, whether you're talking nationally, whether you're talking anything. But I can't wait to dive into it with y'all on today. If you want to join the conversation, you can do so, of course, by leaving a comment like some of y'all are already starting to do. Also, as joining the phone lines as well. Phone lines are open 901-213-6020. But you may want to wait, as I recommend, till I actually get into what I'm talking about to join in the conversation. And that is much appreciated as well. But man, so much going on in so many ways, and especially this Grizzlies Warriors series. If any of y'all been keeping track, there's a lot of animosity going on. I put it in the title of the video. A lot of animosity going on between these two teams. And I don't know if it's more between the two teams or between the two fan bases, because it's really starting to get ugly. And I'm going to talk about what I mean in a minute. But before I do, real quick, if you haven't already, go ahead and follow us on Facebook. Check out our Facebook page, which a lot of y'all watching on right now. Talk Back Live with Bob and Josh on Facebook. Like our page, check us out there. Also, check us out on Twitter at Talkback Live. One word, at Talkback Live. Live on there. Some of y'all watching there as well. Greatly appreciate it. Also, check us out on Spreaker. We're live on Spreaker as well, where you can listen audio-wise. Just download the Spreaker app for free. It takes no time. Just download that, and you can listen to every time we go live. And also our podcasts are there as well, of all of our shows that we do here on Talkback Live Network. Also live on YouTube, youtube.com, Talkback Live Network. Subscribe if you have not done so already, and we greatly appreciate that as well. But what I'm saying, man, the animosity is reaching an all-time high when you talk about the Grizz Warriors situation. And I'm curious what y'all think of it. Good afternoon. What's up, Greg? I see you in the building. See Frank in the building. Good Friday evening, everyone. Bob in the building as well. Reminding everybody where you can call in. I appreciate that most definitely. Enjoying the conversation. But let's talk about this. So we know what is the latest. And the latest, what's up, Leon? See you. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Leon in the building coming in as well. More y'all continue to come in. But just getting it kicked off here. So, Dillon Brooks, suspended for Game 3 tomorrow night in San Francisco. It's Golden State and the Grizzlies going to Game 3 tomorrow at the Chase Center in San Francisco. So, a lot of people upset about this. If you're Grizz fans, some aren't, some are. I'm going to get into what is more egregious and what's not. But what's interesting about this series in the first two games, you had Game 1 where you had the Draymond Green flagrant 2 foul where he was thrown out of the game, where he made a demonstrative spectacle of himself, so to speak, to put it in those terms, as he was leaving the floor. And that kind of escalated that game because a lot of people thought, not in Memphis, but a lot of people felt like, hey, Draymond didn't deserve that flagrant 2. Of course, Draymond went on his podcast, talked about it. He went on TNT and talked about it. He went everywhere and talked about why he felt he was trying to hold Brandon Clark up. So that's how the series started. Draymond Green became public enemy number 1 for the Grizzlies and the Grizzlies fans. Game 2 comes along, and the Grizz waste no time. I don't think this is intentional, but I don't know. In responding, of course, I don't believe Dillon tried to get a flagrant 2, trying to get thrown out in the first 3 minutes of the game. But in the first 3 minutes of the game, Dillon Brooks comes down, whops Gary Payton II upside the head, and he gets ejected from the game. And not only ejected, but suspended for the next game. And the suspension came 2 days later from the NBA. A lot of people wondering why so late for the suspension. That's a whole nother thing. Why they waited so late to make that decision. Like I said, that's a whole nother situation. But all of this is just continuing to add to the animosity. Then you got the coaches coming back and forth, saying different things about what did or didn't happen, how they view what ended up happening, how their team is not dirty. Coach Jenkins coming out yesterday saying some things. And I got all that video and audio for you here. We're gonna get into it here in just a second. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and get to some of that right now because I want to get your thoughts on it. So first, want to go back to these different series of events, and let's start with Draymond. Let's start with Draymond Green. And this is the furthest back. This was last Sunday when the Grizzlies and Warriors series first started, game 1. And here is the situation with Draymond and Brandon Clark and how that went down. Then we're going to go through some of the rest. So let's start with this.
Here, all flagrant fouls. The final decision goes out. Draymond Green running around the floor. It appears they haven't announced it yet.
James Williams told them that. And Steve Kerr's reaction.
Yep, he's going back to the locker room. Yeah. Fitzgerald explaining it's about Steph Curry and Steve Kerr. So Clark will shoot 2 free throws, then possession, but the most important part of it all, as Clark gets the first, most important part of all is Draymond Green is done for the day. Let's break it.
So there's that, and there's how that situation got started. So that was the beginning of it all. Draymond's ejection and then all the drama that ensued from that. Now let's go to situation number 2, which started in game 2 of the series, and that was Dillon Brooks. Well, you know what? Before I go to that, let's go to Steve Kerr, because Steve Kerr had his comments. Steve Kerr, the head coach of the Golden State Warriors, he had his thoughts on what ended up happening. Well, you know what? No. That was Kerr's response to Dillon Brooks. Okay, let's keep going in the way I was talking. All right. Dillon Brooks foul. Let's go to that, and let's look at it again.
Settle it in for the Warriors. Too strong on the Brooks 3. Golden State still looking to crack the seal. Payton right down the middle. He's fouled hard. And Payton's in pain. He's grabbing the left arm. It was right at the end. Morant grabbed him initially, then Brooks got there late with the swipe, and he clubbed him on the side of the head.
And the awkward landing at the end, he tried to brace himself, which is natural as a player is heading to the ground to put his arms down. But how he landed is the issue.
Gary Payton II being helped up.
Foul, the floor has been upgraded to a flagrant foul penalty 2 for windup, impact, and follow through to the head. While the player was prone to injury, Dillon Brooks will be ejected from the game. Gary Payton will shoot 2.
So a flagrant 2. Brooks is done. Less than 3 minutes into the first quarter.
So there's that situation. 3 minutes in. Crime number 2 allegedly took place. And now going to Steve Kerr's reaction to the Dillon Brooks foul. Check it out.
I don't know if it was intentional, but it was dirty. And, playoff basketball it's supposed to be physical. Everybody's going to compete. Everybody's going to fight for everything. But there's a code in this league. There's a code that players follow where you never put a guy's season/career in jeopardy by taking somebody out in midair and clubbing him across the head and ultimately fracturing Gary's elbow. This is a guy who's been toiling the last 6 years trying to make it in this league. Finally found a home, just, playing his butt off this year. In the playoffs, this should be the time of his life. And guy comes in and whacks him across the head in midair. He broke the code. Dylan Brooks broke the code. That's how I see it.
So there it is. That's how Steve Kerr sees it. He says Dylan Brooks broke the code. Evidently, he wasn't too worried about that code with Draymond, with Brandon Clark. But nonetheless, now let's go to the last clip and Coach Taylor Jenkins with a very quick but direct, I'd like to say, response to some of the criticism that his team and specifically Dylan Brooks has gotten over the past few days.
We obviously wish, Gary Payton, a speedy and healthy recovery. You don't want to see anybody get hurt. It's very unfortunate what happened there. But I also want to address, I know there's a narrative out there, that was said that between game 1 and game 2, we have to play more physical. Obviously, dirty's been thrown out there, but, I look at my locker room, I look at our culture and what we exude. We're the furthest thing from dirty. We're competitive. So I want that to be squashed pretty quick here. It's definitely unfortunate. I know words only going to mean so much right here. What we feel for what Payton's going through right now, and it's not going to change the course of action, but, our guys are going to rally. We're going to go out there and just focus on game 3. All
right. So it's Coach Jenkins saying, hey, I know people saying that we're dirty and all this stuff, but I expect that to be squashed pretty quickly, which to me means he wants folks to quit calling the Grizzlies dirty. So all of this is going on. This is adding to the animosity, and this is not even to scratch the surface of some of what's been happening if you've been paying attention to social media. You've got a lot of folks going back and forth, the fans especially going back and forth. And the interesting part about it, at least to me, and maybe because I'm in Memphis, folks want to say, I'm giving the Grizz perspective or Memphis fan perspective. And you're probably right. But at the same time, it is my perspective. And looking at it, and a lot of y'all may agree with this, I am somewhat surprised at how nasty and dirty, so to say it, use that word, a lot of these Golden State fans have been in the series and in their reaction to what's been going on. I mean, there's been a lot of terrible things that I cannot say on this broadcast being said by a lot of Golden State fans. Not just about the Grizz or about the players or threats or all sorts of other things to certain members of the media in this city. All sorts of stuff like that going on. And I don't think anybody expected all of that to be happening. I know I didn't. Despite no matter how contentious something may be, I don't think it should ever get to that point. But what do y'all think, man? What is this the beginning of a new rivalry in the league right now with the Warriors and the Grizz? And some people, that I've talked to, that when I brought that up, they say, oh, the Grizz can't be the Warriors' rival because the Warriors have won 3 championships and the Grizz have won none. Therefore, the Grizz don't rise to that level. I don't know if that's a fair way to put that, even though it is true as far as titles are concerned. But do titles make rivalries? Are rivalries only made in a title game? But, the Grizz and Warriors are in the same conference. So do you guys consider this to be a budding rivalry between the Grizzlies and the Warriors? As you see there, led by those two guys, Steph Curry and John Morant, the budding superstar that he is. But I just want to get y'all's thoughts on that. How do you feel about how this series is going with some of the outside shenanigans? And I can't even say everything's outside because some of this even started on the court by the fouls by both teams. Or is this just another example of good playoff basketball and it's nothing more than that? So y'all give me your thoughts, how you feel about how everything has continued to go. But at least to me, I've enjoyed it. I can't even lie to you. I can't say, I hate this is happening or that. I don't want, people saying nasty things to each other and threats and all that stuff. I think that's out of bounds, even though you're going to get that in sports fandom, unfortunately, especially nowadays in the age of social media. But to me, I enjoy a lot of this other stuff. I really do, because that's what makes it more interesting. You know what I mean? They want to go out there and play each other. I don't think these guys want to go out and fight each other. I mean, I don't sense the animosity to that level, like Grizz and Clippers back in the day. When you talk about, Zach Randolph and Blake Griffin wrestling each other on the floor, alleged choke slams being handed out, this, that, and the other, Chris Paul punching Marc Gasol in the stomach. stuff like that. I ain't quite seen it rise to that level, or has it? Where do you put this rivalry, this situation right now? And is it a rivalry? What's up, Kelly? I see you coming in, man. Good to see you, bro. I see Mike Hurt in the building. What's up, man? He says it's a rivalry. Okay. He says it is a rivalry in his mind. And I think it is too. Because after this, with the Grizz team that they got right now, this is just the beginning. They're not going anywhere. It's not going to be a one and done type situation in the playoffs. And I don't think the Warriors are done either. While they get healthy and they continue to do what they're doing, they're still going to be a force to reckon with in the playoffs and the postseason. So I think there's a chance we're going to continue to see these two face off in the playoffs. And this young Grizzlies team, they don't care. And that's why I love this team so much. It's probably my favorite Grizzlies team ever. And I love the grit grind Grizzlies. You're not going to find too many people that love the grit grind Grizz more than me. But I like this team a bit more because of the moxie, because of the modernness of the team, the youth, and at the same time, the lack of fear. They're not sitting there saying we have to lose to the Warriors in order to get where we need to go. No, they're saying, no, we don't need to go through the traditional route that everybody says, oh, you got to earn your stripes. You got to do this, that, do that. No, the Grizz earned their stripes, according to them, last year when they lost to Utah in the first round. That's all the stripes they feel they need as far as losing. Now's the time to go get a title. A lot of these guys in the Grizzlies feel. And I think if you're being objective, an objective fan of the team, an objective person that just watches the NBA, you know that this Grizzlies team is a real championship contender. You know that this is not just a flash in the pan, like you may hear some people say. This is just one of those things where, you know, they come, they having a cute little run, as some may say, and then it's all going to be over in the years to come. This is just the beginning. Let's look at this. I was watching a lot of different coverage over the past several days of the Grizzlies Warrior series. I saw Charles Barkley give his thoughts after the game. And one thing that gets me, and of course people can have their opinions, but one thing that's a little annoying is this constant thought. And I know a lot of this comes from older players that played in the league. They always have this rule of thought, kind of like what I was just saying, that, hey, these young guys, you know, they're great, but they still got to learn. They got to learn not to do this. They got to learn not to do that. And I'm not saying you don't need to learn, but some of the things that they're saying they need to learn are not feasible. I'll put it this way. And y'all let me know if I'm wrong. If you think I'm wrong, feel free to let me know. I saw Kenny Smith was talking about how the Dillon Brooks foul was because a lack of experience in knowing how to control yourself in those situations, how to foul hard without hurting somebody. Now, to me, it sounded a little bit ridiculous because Dillon Brooks is not a rookie. He's been in the league a while now. He's one of the older players on the team as far as experience, been in the NBA, played at college, played high school, played for as long as you can remember. Anybody at that point, I wouldn't think you say somebody needs to learn how to foul somebody because of a lack of experience. Everything that the Grizzlies do seems to come down to a lack, even when they win games. I saw Charles Barkley said they should have lost. They should have lost. They got lucky because they didn't do this, they didn't do that, and that's because of a lack of experience. If you don't rebound, and this is even a criticism of the Grizzlies in my eyes, at least from me, it's like, hey, the Grizz get out rebounded by Golden State. Well, that's because of a lack of experience. No, it's because Golden State is out rebounding them. They're putting in better effort on the glass. The Grizz don't have their rebounder and Steven Adams out there in the game. Jaren Jackson not rebounding like he should. Those are some criticism I have of the Grizzlies. It's not always experience. You play ball, you get the ball. You know, you don't need to play 17 years to learn how to grab the ball. Stuff like that. And, you know, it's just one of those things where I feel like when there's a new guard coming in, it takes a lot of getting used to from some of the older folks. whether that's some of the older and former NBA stars, NBA vets, or even some of the vets that are currently in the league, don't want to give the Grizzlies their just due all the way. It seems like everything needs to be proven, and I think that's somewhat of a good thing. The reason why I say that is this young team loves to have a chip on their shoulder. They're getting a lot of accolades and a lot of hype, but at the same time, there's still enough doubt. There's still enough people with that question mark in their mind about this team. I just don't want to believe, even though it's right in front of their face, like my hand. They don't want to believe because it's too new. And anything too new can't be fully accepted by a lot of these guys until that hand that they see in their face and don't want to acknowledge slaps them in the face and forces them to acknowledge what they see. And I think that's what the Grizz are beginning to do, and that's what they need to continue to do in these playoffs. Now, with that being said, the Warriors do have championship experience. I'm not going to deny that or throw that under the bus or under the table. That is very crucial, and that's one reason why certain things the Grizz have not been doing cannot continue to happen. And I'm going to say this. One of my biggest criticisms when watching the Grizzlies, even going back to the Minnesota series, and some people may not like this, Jaren Jackson Jr., love Jaren, crucially important to this team. Crucially. You can tell when he's on the court and when he's off the court how much he's needed because of his size, his length, his athleticism, his defense, his shot blocking, steals, all of that stuff. Very important. But also on offense. And here's the thing to me. He had the big game, which was ironically the game they lost in game one. 26 points, I think, something like that. 30, I think it was 36. He had 30 plus. He hit all those threes, 6 threes in the game. All that, he was doing great. Grizzlies lost. Definitely not his fault. But here's my thing about Jaren that I think some people need to look at a little bit more. People say, that's the Jaren I know. Well, here's the thing. Jaren's not going to hit 6 threes every night. And I don't think, 33 points. Thank you, Kelly. 33 points. Jaren's not going to hit 6 threes every night. I think he needs to know that too. I'm not saying stop shooting. I'm not going to be like a lot of those guys, this, with the old school thought that you need to be like Shaquille O'Neal back in the day and never leave the paint. I'm not saying that. But he needs to take more advantage of the mismatches that's provided to him in this series, because unlike the Minnesota series, I don't think the Warriors have a lot of guys that can really hold Jaren down low. Jaren almost seems like he forgets that he can play in the post, that he does have some skill, that he does have a decent amount of touch down low. But he's so used to being a big guard. I think some of that even goes down to coaching. They always have Matt on the perimeter. You set screens, you're picking and popping instead of rolling to the rim. You're not taking advantage when you got guys like Jordan Poole guarding you. And they put guys like that on Jaren because they don't feel like he's going to take advantage of it. They don't think he's going to do anything. He's going to stay out there like a guard and not take advantage of mismatches. Not enough times I see him taking advantage of those situations. Some of that is on Jaren, and some of that is on the coaches and the players that are on the floor not acknowledging when Jaren has a mismatch. He can take advantage of a lot more if he does not become 3-point happy. The Grizzlies and Jaren get too 3-point happy too many times. They're not a great 3-point shooting team, despite the fact they have guys that can hit the 3. They're not a great shooting team. And if you watch this team all year, you know this. It's not where our bread is butter. You got Bane, great shooter. You got Dylan Brooks, can hit threes. Not a great shooter, but he can. He's streaky. Jaren is streaky. He can shoot, but he's not a great shooter. He's streaky at times. He'll hit 6 one night. He'll hit 2 another night. We don't need to be a 3-point jacking up team trying to match what the Warriors do. You shoot them if you're open, but you need to get back to what you do best: is driving, is drawing fouls, playing down low, inside out. If you get open threes, you take them, but don't jack them up unnecessarily in situations where you don't need to, especially when you're going on the road against a Golden State team heading into the Chase Center that knows they need to win that game. That crowd's going to be crazy in San Francisco. You already know. You see how hyped the situation's been getting. So that's been my main criticism of the Grizzlies in this series. Too many threes to me. They're jacking up too many. They hit more in the last game. That was a good thing. But the reason why they really won game 2 was because of John Morant closing the game in the final minutes. That's absolutely the main reason that they won that game. You just got to be real about it. And it's great to have a superstar that can take over and take you to the promised land, but you can't expect that all the time. Can't rely on that because you would expect that some of, you know what I'm saying, the game plan of Golden State is going to end up changing heading into the next game because Ja tore them up. They have nobody that can hold them. So I would expect a lot of Golden State to start blitzing Ja with 2 or 3 guys sometimes just to get the ball out of his hands. And that's where somebody else is going to have to step up. So we'll see what happens. But y'all give me your thoughts. How you feeling about what I'm saying as far as the breakdown of this game? And what do you think is going to end up being the key tomorrow night when the Grizzlies head to San Francisco and the Chase Center to play the Golden State Warriors? 901-213-6020. Phone lines are now open. If you want to join the convo, you can. Agree or disagree with anything I'm saying. Want to add a point or anything that I have not brought up, you are more than welcome to do so. Let's look at some more comments. Kelly says, I think so. The Grizzlies are coming. They are young and hungry, but I truly feel we are a year or 2 away because some of your great playoff teams have had growing pains, but I think the next couple of years we got next. And I do agree. Look, growing pains are true, and it's no question. I go back to the Oklahoma City Thunder with KD, even though they didn't win a title. But going back to that team, I remember the Grizz and the Thunder were peers. They were coming up around the same time. KD, Westbrook, Harden, drafted by them. The Grizz, Rudy Gay, Mike Conley, OJ Mayo. You know what I'm saying? They both had young cores. They would play very competitive with each other, but they were coming up around the same time. I remember the year, I believe OKC won 50 games, ended up as an 8 seed playing the Lakers and lost. That was their growing pains. Let's go to the phone lines.
From
Pierre.
to accept.
All right, caller. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, Pierre from South Memphis.
All right, Pierre, South Memphis. What's going on, sir? How you doing?
I'm all right. Man, look, I appreciate the points you're making. But you got to realize like this here. A lot of guys ain't gonna recognize the simple fact, but they fail to realize this team was projected not to be as good as they are this soon.
Yeah, you're right.
So so with all that being said, yeah, we got a young core, but also we have some guys, like I said, they're not superstars, but they're stars in their own way. They all know their own role, and they're supporting cast to the men that they know that can get them to the level.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I ain't got much to say about that. Like I said, I just wanted to chime in, man, because I appreciate the podcast, man, and see you doing great things over there.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, man. Good stuff. This is Pierre from South Memphis. And how you feel about tomorrow? You think the Grizz gonna pull it out tomorrow, or what do you think?
Yeah, I have a strong belief that we will, because, like I said, we'll have our rebounder back in there.
Mm-hmm.
And even though we lost Dylan Brooks I feel like it was a petty call. I don't think it was intentionally, and he didn't try to, take it to that level to where he hurt a guy. Mm-hmm. But I look at it like this: you say there's a flagrant 2. Why is it that Draymond wasn't suspended for his flagrant 2?
Yeah,
is it because just the guy landed wrong and he got hurt? I can't see that.
That's a great point, man. It's a question. I'm gonna put that out there for some of the other people to answer as well. But hey, man, I appreciate the call, Pierre, and feel free to do so again. I'll be here every Friday, man.
Most definitely, brother. Looking forward to constantly watching the show.
All right, man. Appreciate it. All right. That's Pierre from South Memphis in the building. First time caller. Appreciate that, man. And watching and listening. If you want to join in, you can hit us up 901-213-6020. And Steven Adams, as he said, and Frankie put in the comments here, is expected to play tomorrow. I'd expect him to start, in my opinion. We'll see what ends up happening. But I'm glad that he's available. I know he had the COVID thing come up. I think he would have been out there if it wasn't for that already in the first two games. But with the big rebounding problem, as Verdell puts in the comments, rebounding will be key. I agree. I mean, because we've been out rebounded in both games. That's something that can't happen. The Grizz were a top 5, top 2, I believe, rebounding team in the NBA. The Grizz were number 1 in scoring in the paint in the regular season as well. So those are two strengths that Golden State's outdone us on. That can't continue to happen.
Call from
Kelly.
To accept, press 1.
All right, now it's Kelly in the building. What's up, man? Welcome to the show.
Hey, what up, homie Josh? Tell me about it, man.
Man, I'm good, man. How you feeling?
Man, I'm good, man. But, man, my only thing about tomorrow, and see, here's the thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
The Grizz should be up 2-0, man. 2-0, because in game 1, Steph and Clay was in foul trouble, and they didn't shoot the best.
Yep.
And they still won that game by 1 point. That's what's kind of hurtful, man. We should be up 2-0 going back to San Fran, man. And see what's scary, in game 2, Clay and Steph's shots wasn't really falling like the shots they usually hit, they were missing.
You're right.
And we end up winning that. But see, my thing is, when they go back to San Fran, they're going to be in their own arena, and the same shots they was missing in Memphis, they're going to be hitting in San Fran. So I'm to the point now, if we can just, I know 2 going to be a stretch, but if we can just get 1 in San Fran, bring them on back to us and handle our business here, I think we got a shot, man. But like I said, man, I hate we not up 2-0 and tied 1 apiece, but I'm just worried about, Steph and Clay going off like they and what hurt us also in game 1 was Jordan Poole too.
Definitely.
See, he took too.
Man,
but
yeah, he was incredible game 1. And really, to be honest, he's been the best guard probably offensively for them in the series. Offensively, that is, but even though, Steph got going a little bit in game 2, but he still was not good from 3. Even that one he hit was off the backboard. It's very unusual.
Thank you, Ian. That's right. Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with them. I hope that continues. Clay, I'm wondering, is he starting to feel it a little bit because he hadn't played a ton? I don't know. But
yeah, but game 2 we almost lost, but it just goes to show you that superstar, that John 12, man, he showed up and showed out.
Absolutely.
When they need. I mean, he, man, like I know it's a team effort, and don't get me wrong, that rookie Williams hit some shots.
Oh,
too,
he was
man.
big. He was big. He's not getting enough shine for that game too. For a rookie to step in that spot and do what he did, big time.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a blessing in disguise because, like I said, with Dylan Brooks, he got messed over, man. Ain't no way he was suspended 1 game already, but basically they didn't give him 2 games because he was only 3 minutes into the other game. But I guess by Dylan being suspended, we were able to get what we got out of Zaire, man. So man, if we can build off that, and man, we think we're gonna be all right, man. I really do, man. Because they're young, and like I said, this moment ain't doing nothing but seasonal.
Yeah.
Putting some season on them. So like they next time around they're really gonna be ready. So like I said, I hope they come back and win the next 3, and I think they can do it. I think now it's gonna be tough, but I think they could do it with the heart they got and the grit. They could do it, man.
I agree 100%. Get that rebounding down, and hopefully at Big Adams, Aquaman gonna come back in and help out with that whole thing. Now I'm gonna ask you one last thing before you go. How do you feel about the Dylan foul? Did you feel it was uncalled for by Dylan? Do you feel like it was malicious or dirty, as Steve Kerr was saying, or how'd you feel about it?
And I feel the reason why Dylan is suspended because
Steve Kerr get up there complaining about what. But my thing is this: if you're gonna suspend Dylan, suspend Draymond too. I mean, it's only right, but it's. I think the way Steve Kerr got up there complaining, talking about he broke the code and all that stuff, I think that's the only reason why they decided to come on out and suspend him. Now, I mean, he was, my viewpoint, he was going for the ball and just hit the man over the head. I mean, and another reason why I think they suspended him is because Payton is going to be out some time. And I think that's what it basically boiled down to, what Kerr said about a young man being injured and, fracturing his elbow. I mean, I guess the NBA felt they had to do something. So, but like I said, I want to say that Draymond's foul was more aggressive than the one Dylan did, because he actually pulled a man down, and I guess he was trying to help him up, or concerned about him, but like I said, you're gonna suspend one, suspend them all, man. So
that's my thing. That's exactly my thing. I don't get that, but we usually get the short end of the stick as the Grizzlies. When it comes to stuff like that. So hey, it's better. I saw somebody say, this might have been Greg, it's better game 3 than game 7. You know what I'm saying? Like the old Zebo situation from years ago. So definitely.
True that. So
all right, Kelly.
All right, man. I'm gonna hang up and listen, man, and I get it y'all later, man.
All right, man. Appreciate the call as always.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right. That's in the building out of Arkansas, calling in. Appreciate that call as always. And if you want to join in, you're more than welcome to do so. 901-213-6020. And had several people already hit me up on today.
Oh, boy.
And you're still welcome to join in on the conversation. No doubt. So there's a lot going on, man. Now I was just looking at something. I'm going to try to get this up here before the show is over, hopefully. If I'm able to work a little magic, but there's been some stuff that I want to put up that's been going on here. But before I get to that, let me read some more comments here. Frankie says, I've heard some analysts say that we have not paid our dues. Yeah, I think that's an overrated thing, paying our dues, man. If you're good enough, the way you pay your dues is by winning. That's the thing. And I know you're young, but if you end up winning young, then you win young. It is what it is. Let's see here. Greg says the Grizz have to realize the difference between getting open looks at the 3 or our teams lulling them into relying on the 3 by allowing and daring the Grizz to beat them from the 3. That's a great point. And here's the thing. I don't know how many people saw this, but after game 1, Draymond Green's big mouth self, he has the podcast, he's on TNT. He was on TNT with Charles Barkley and the whole crew after game 1, talking about his foul and all that stuff. Chuck was saying how he deserved to get thrown out, all that stuff. So they were arguing about that. But then after that, he said, we feel real comfortable. This is the thing that I hope the Grizz were watching because I feel like Draymond gave their whole game plan on national TV. And he said that they feel real comfortable about their game plan and how they see what the Grizz are doing. That they would much rather have them shoot from the outside and take the shots they're taking. That's exactly what he said. They said that's what the game plan is. They see what they're doing. They even brought up Jaren and all of that stuff. They want Jaren to shoot. They want Ja to shoot from 3. Bane, Brooks, Melton, all those guys to shoot from 3. That's what they want. Exactly to Greg's point. So it's not just you getting open shots. They would rather you do that than what you do best. As the Grizz have proven during the regular season, they were tops in the league in scoring in the paint because they were so good at driving to the rim, attacking the rim, getting fouled. Keep doing it. If they're letting you stay open, you got to wonder, why are they doing this? Now, again, you don't pass up every open 3, but still, don't let them lull you into a 3-point shooting matchup because the Warriors are not going to shoot that bad as they've done in the first 2 games for the whole series. You can't compete with them in the 3-point shooting competition. So you just got to pay attention to what's happening. Looking at Talissa Britton, thank you for joining the show. It's first time comment here. She says, I'm nervous about game 3 because Steve Kerr is already working the refs. I just hope they don't call off the fouls on us. That's a great point. And Steve Kerr is a smart guy. He knows what he's doing. I think Kelly just said it, and Pierre was talking about it also. Part of what you saw when I played the clip a few minutes ago, Steve Kerr talking about how Dylan Brooks broke the code amongst players, right? All of a sudden, Steve Kerr knows the code. I guess he's got the code, the book, at his house somewhere. And somewhere in that code book, it says nothing about Draymond Green breaking the code every day. I guess maybe that's written in there. That's okay. But nonetheless, Steve Kerr knows what he's doing. He's bringing all this attention to the Grizzlies so that maybe the NBA and the referees will focus more on watching every move the Grizzlies make and possibly lead to more fouls getting called tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. I hope not, because you know that's going to affect the game, the flow, and make it pretty much unwatchable to a certain degree if it gets too bad. But the way things go, you never know. You never know. It's a savvy move by Steve Kerr, who's been in these playoff situations before. And, putting the onus on the media to continue the conversation, which they've done all week. Everybody, Skip, Stephen A., everybody else has been talking locally, nationally, all the radio shows talking about Grizzlies, dirty, not dirty, foul calls. That might rear its ugly head tomorrow night, so hopefully not. Pierre Blackman says, let's not forget we've also been pretty good team on the road. That's true. And love to play in a hostile environment. This young team has that chip on their shoulders. They were counted out early in the season, and see where we are now. Outstanding point. Outstanding point, because I believe, and I don't have that in front of me at the moment, but I know the Grizz were one of, if not the best team on the road in the NBA. They had an outstanding record when they went to other teams' arena. One thing about this young team, playing in a hostile environment does not work to the advantage of the other team. If anything, it works to the Grizzlies' advantage because they don't care. It's nothing like a young team that doesn't care. Let's go back to Minnesota in the last series. The reason why I said before the series started, I would rather play the Phoenix Suns in the first round than the Minnesota Timberwolves because they didn't care. They have no conscience. They're so dumb, they don't care. They're numb to everything that's supposed to make sense. You know what I'm saying? They came to Memphis, didn't care that the crowd was crazy, didn't care that the Grizzlies were clearly the better team. They didn't care about nothing. They came out there, smacked the Grizzlies in the face, acting all crazy, wild, and swinging their arms and stuff, threw the Grizzlies off. And the Grizz came in already looking down on the Timberwolves, even though they shouldn't, because all year the Grizz struggled with the Timberwolves. It's a bad matchup. That goes to that, but they were so dumb that the Grizz beat them. The Grizz were smarter and better at the end of the day. We don't want that to work in reverse in this series because clearly the Warriors are the more experienced team, but I don't think they're the better team. So we'll get to that. Another comment here, Dwight Rogers. What's up, sir? He says Memphis needs to get this win tonight. Well, the game is tomorrow night. It's not tonight. It feels like it should be tonight, but it's not. It's tomorrow night. Frankie says, I talked with a member of the Grizzlies team, and he said they are aware the Warriors may try some type of retaliation. Oh, wow. Interesting. You know what I thought about that? Because the thing is, and you saw Steve Kerr talking. I looked at a video of Steph Curry. They are really upset at the injury to Gary Payton Jr. because, and I understand it. The reason why I understand, because Gary Payton Jr., the son of the great Gary Payton Sr., Hall of Famer, Gary Payton II has been scratching and clawing for 6-7 years to get to this point. He's been in the league that long. Folks don't even know because he didn't play. He's been on several different teams, never given an opportunity. Scratching and clawing and fighting, no results. I forgot he was even in the league until the beginning of this year, seeing him start to play for the Warriors. He started getting some shine. because of some injuries, got in the game, hustled, fought, clawed, scratched, became one of their key players as the year went on. So they love him. He's kind of a heart and soul type of guy. He's gritty. He's a guy that can guard Ja. Even though Ja dropped 34 on him in game 1, he still did a much better job than anybody else that they got. So there's a lot of reasons I see why they take it so personal. It's like if somebody hurt Desmond Bane, we'd be upset if we're Grizzlies fans. So let's be fair as far as that. But I hope no retaliation comes, because that would not be fair. But again, goes to the animosity between these two teams and the rivalry that's being built. So we'll see. These are things the Grizz need to be careful, especially Ja. Look in here. What else Frankie says? The powers that be would rather have their golden boy in the playoffs than Ja. That's a good point. But let me say this. I put this out on the Talkback Live with Bob and Josh Facebook page. If you haven't, go ahead and like that page. Also, real quick, got a couple likes, a lot more people watching. If you're watching this video, stop what you're doing right now. Hit that like button. If you're enjoying the show, sticking around, maybe your first time checking us out here on Talkback Live Network, hit that like button right now. Also hit that share button as well. All of that is very, very crucial to what we're doing. We definitely appreciate it. If you haven't done it, drop what you're doing. If you can, don't want you to pull over. If you're driving, maybe you want to pull over. Hit that like button on the screen, and it is definitely appreciated. See some of y'all doing it already. Greatly appreciate it. Continue to do so. Also, feel free to share this video as well with your friends, on your pages, all of that stuff, and we will appreciate that. So that is just some of the stuff that's been going on. So real quick, got just a few minutes left. Again, if you want to call in, you still got some time. 901-213-6020. Tell me your thoughts on what has happened in the Grizz Warrior series. How do you feel about tomorrow night's game? As Bob just put Saturday night. Thank you, Bob. Bob says Saturday night game. The game is tomorrow night in San Francisco. I believe it's going to be 7:30 Central Time. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I did see that. So y'all be sure to check it out. Grizz Warriors Saturday night's main event on ABC. But I'm very much looking forward to that game coming up. How do you feel about the game? Do you think the Grizz need to win game 3? Do they need to at least win one of these 2 games in Golden State, which of course you want at least one, because if you don't, you fall down 3-1 in the series. How do you feel about how the whole thing has played out? Also, the Dylan Brooks foul. Was it as dirty as Steve Kerr said it was? Was it as dirty and as cruel? Did he break the code? Did the code snap in half because of what Dylan Brooks did? Is the code laying in a million pieces on the street because Dylan Brooks broke it? According to Steve Kerr, that is the case. But you know how that goes when it comes to that. But ironically, Steve Kerr not paying attention to what his own team does on a regular basis, what could be construed as dirty as well. So I want to play something for y'all. And I'm making sure everything cooperates here. So I'm kind of multitasking. But while I do this, and I'm going to give myself some time, let me go to a quick commercial break. I've been talking nonstop here. Y'all be sure and support our advertisers as well, including Mother's Day coming up this weekend. What better way to say you love your mother than to get us some soul food? Why not go to the best soul food place in town? And here it is, right here.
For the best soul food in the Mid-South, it's Shop and Save. $14.99 South 3rd, 901-946-4303. Serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And some of the items on their menu consist of catfish, spaghetti, chicken and dressing, turkey wings, meatloaf, fried chicken, cabbage, yams, greens, salmon croquette, and the list goes on. Some of the best soul food you ever taste in the Mid-South, it is Shop and Save. 1499 South 3rd. Call them again at 901-946-4303. Been in business since 1991. Shop and Save, 1499 South 3rd, 901-946-4303 for some of the best soul food you'll ever taste.
To be honest, I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. I checked what the CDC says and spoke with my doctor about the potential side effects. It definitely made me much less anxious. She told me if I have some arm pain or feel tired, that's completely normal as my body builds a defense to the virus. I was willing to take the vaccine to protect me, my family, and my friends. Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
I watch y'all coming here for years because you shot somebody. Now your life is shot. You're going to pick that phone up one day and that girl going to be done dumped you and raise your child with another man. Or maybe your mama or your grandmama dies. Because ain't nothing you can do about it. You got 15 to 20 years, state or fed time. Real talk. Don't lose your head, use your head, man. Gun crime, max time.
This pandemic has hit us hard, but Tennesseans don't stay down for long. We're known for our resilience, and we refuse to back down from a challenge. This challenge is no different. You might be out of work, but there's an opportunity waiting for you. We need you to roll up your sleeves and join our workforce. Right now, thousands of jobs are ready to be filled. Find them at jobsfortn.gov. Let's get to work, Tennessee.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol, here to explain the Tennessee Hands-Free Law, which is a new state law effective July 1st, 2019. In Public Chapter 412, it makes it illegal for a driver to hold a cell phone or a mobile device with any part of their body, to write, send, or read any text-based communication, to reach for a cell phone or mobile device in a manner that requires the driver to no longer be in a seated driving position or properly restrained by a seatbelt, to watch a video or a movie on a cell phone or a mobile device, and to record or broadcast video on a cell phone or mobile device. So, can I still talk on my cell phone while driving? Yes. A driver is permitted to use an earpiece, headphone device, or a device worn on a wrist to conduct a voice-based communication. The driver may use one button on a cell phone or mobile device to initiate or terminate voice communication, and voice-based communication may also be used to send a text message. Learn more at handsfreetn.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. A few minutes left to talk to y'all on today. I appreciate everybody that's come in and joined me on this Friday. Quick reminder, if y'all are new to what we do here on Talkback Live Network, here's the weekly schedule for us here on this network. Of course, it starts every Friday right here with me with the sports show. But we do more than sports, man. On Saturday, coming up 1 p.m. is Let's Talk About It with Bishop Bobby Midgett, co-founder of Talkback Live Network as well. So y'all stay tuned for that. And, of course, perfect timing for Carl to call. So let's go into that right now.
Call from
Carl radio station.
To accept, press
1. Well, I think Carl dropped off. I know it'll be happening with his phone sometimes. We'll get Carl back in, but real quick, tomorrow, 1 p.m., let's talk about it with Bob Midgett, Bishop Bobby Midgett, every Saturday at 1 p.m. Be sure to check that out. Tomorrow, 4 p.m., Talkback Live with Bob and Josh is the show, the flagship show that started everything off right here. So we're going to be live talking all sorts of stuff, 4 p.m. Central Time. Then the Word of Life Bible Study broadcast with Bishop Bobby Midgett coming up Sunday as well. So all sorts of stuff we got covered for you here on Talkback Live Network. Plus, outside of that, we may go live any other day of the week. You never know, depending on what ends up happening. So that is just some of what we do right here on this network. But real quick, I was talking about some of the animosity that's going on in Memphis when it comes to this whole thing with Golden State and the Grizzlies. So here's something interesting. Kendrick Perkins. Y'all know Kendrick Perkins, been a big Grizz supporter, and I believe he still is. He still is. He believes the Grizz are going to beat the Warriors. But he did have some criticism of Dillon Brooks and the Dillon Brooks foul, and agreed with the suspension. He thought Dillon Brooks was being unnecessary in his foul. He thought he caused the injury to Gary Payton II. And he, like I said, agreed with the suspension. And there was a certain person in Memphis, guy that's been on the show. I hit him up the other day to come on today to talk about it. He wasn't able to. He was busy. Definitely appreciate it. Definitely going to have him on again soon. My man Doc Holliday had some comments to say about about Kendrick Perkins, and he put it out there on Twitter. And Kendrick Perkins responded with a video of his own. So you got a little back and forth going on here. I got both videos, and I'm going to try to see if I can, I'm going to start with Doc and what he had to say, and then we're going to go to Kendrick Perkins. So y'all take a listen and a look at these clips, and we'll be right back. And hopefully the audio plays. I know how these things tend to go sometimes. But let me see here. See if I can get it to fit. We're editing on the fly as we go, but I want y'all to see this and give me your thoughts. So first, here's Doc Holliday says that Kendrick Perkins is double talking in the things he's saying. So y'all check this out.
Perkins, man, you be double talking, bro. You can't be on national television and on Twitter talking about how amazing, how you on Ja Morant's side, which you should be, because he's amazing. You know, he's the most, electrifying and entertaining player in the NBA. But you can't say that, then get right back on national TV and says that his teammate, Dillon Brooks, should be suspended, not 1 game, but 2 games. Didn't you say that Dillon Brooks should not be suspended, but 1 game, but 2 games? So NBA is gauging fan reaction based off what y'all saying on national television. So they end up making a decision to suspend Dillon for really 2 games, because they kicked him out of game 2. Now they suspended him for game 3. Y'all saying on national television, it's like you on TV talking about he should be suspended. So you can't be on TV and on Twitter. Well, I guess you can, but we call it double talking in the M. You double talking, two-faced. That's what we call it. But you say how great Ja Morant is, you pulling for him and all that, but you actually pulling against him if you get on national TV and says one of the key players that he needs in order to win in advance, one of our key players, the Memphis Grizzlies, should be suspended, not 1 game, but 2 games. So y'all got what y'all wanted. Dillon Brooks is suspended for really 2 games. Got kicked out. Now he's suspended for the next game. And what I say, it was a hard play, but I don't think he hurt Gary Payton on purpose. It was reckless, but I don't think he hit Gary Payton hurt him on purpose. But you got what you wanted, bro. So keep double talking. It's easy to jump on the wagon, but I wonder what you saying all that about Ja Morant when he was in college. No, you started saying it after he done showed the whole world how amazing he is.
So there's some of that from Doc Holliday. Definitely not to hold back, no doubt about it. So now I want to play this from Kendrick Perkins. And Perkins had his response. Of course, big ESPN personality, all that stuff. He gave his thoughts on what was going on. Let me make sure I got this up here. And let's see here. See if it'll cooperate with me. Yeah, there it is. All right. All right, let me do my editing magic on this one, because this was entertaining as well. Y'all know Perkins doesn't usually hold back either when he's on First Take with ESPN and everything. A lot of people kind of taking sides here and there. I'm not really doing that. But I did think it was interesting nonetheless. So here's Kendrick Perkins' response to what Doc Holliday had to say.
Hey, Dr. Holliday, I'm trying to eat my chicken. Come across my Twitter feed. You on there. Man, what the hell is you talking about? Double dipping, double standard. Man, miss me with all this. At the end of the day, I get paid to do an unbiased job. Meaning, yeah, I'm rooting for the Memphis Grizzlies. Yeah, Ja Morant, my dog. But at the end of the day, that foul that Dylan Brooks created, or he made on Gary Payton II, man, that's a flagrant 2. And you can feel however you want to feel about it. Check it or respect it. Too big to hide. Don't let this suit tie fool you. That same stuff you standing on, I got it from too. Out the mud, homeboy. Real life. Keep my name out your mouth. Carry on.
So there it is. Perkins saying carry on to Doc there. And Doc did respond to. Not going to go into all that. But so that's what I mean, man. You see the animosity is growing, not only with the fans, but the teams as well. And now Kendrick Perkins and Doc Holliday, 2 media members as well. So as you see, Kendrick Perkins was eating some chicken and had to make sure we all saw the big old leg he put in his mouth there as he responded. So it's getting out there, man. Very, very, very interesting stuff. Shout out to Doc. Hopefully we can get him on soon. Hit me back, say he definitely wants to come back on with us so we can probably get his thoughts on that whole thing and some more stuff. So, hey, man. But like I say, I love this series. I love the intensity that it's bringing out everybody. And to me, I know you got Miami and that series going on. I know you got Boston and Milwaukee. I know you got Phoenix and Dallas. But to me, this is by far the most entertaining series out of the 2. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. It's more entertaining and on the court and off the court with everything that's going on. Just don't cross the line. That's all I'm cool with. I don't need these 2 brothers fighting or nothing like that. I know they're more professional. I'm not trying to do nothing like that. But hey, everybody said their piece, and that is what it is. And you can see how Kendrick Perkins feels about it. How do you feel about it? There it is. That's how he feels about it right there. Chicken all in the beard. You know what I mean? I don't know what type of chicken that is, but it's all up in the beard, man. But nonetheless, that's going to do it for me on today, man. Appreciate everybody for joining me, coming on, sharing, liking the video, all of that stuff. I'll be back next week. Kelly says, oh, snap. Big Perk, calm yourself down. LOL. So there it is, man. Shout out to Kelly. I agree. No doubt, man. Tomorrow we're back. Let's talk about it with Bishop Bobby Midgett tomorrow. He's got a special guest joining him to talk about a very, very hot topic. I know he's going to share about that a little later. Also, Talk Back Live with Bob and Josh. Me and Bob coming back with the original show with a lot of stuff to talk about, talking news, talking hot topics, talking sports, talking weather, whatever's going on, man. We're going to talk about it, and your calls and comments are welcome as well. So that's going to do it for me. Without any further ado, I'm Joshua Midgett. Appreciate y'all for joining me, and I am out of here.
For the best soul food in the Mid-South, it's Shop and Save. $14.99 South 3rd, 901-946-4303. Serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And some of the items on their menu consist of catfish, spaghetti, chicken and dressing, turkey wings, meatloaf, fried chicken, cabbage, yams, greens, salmon croquette, and the list goes on. Some of the best soul food you ever taste in the Mid-South, it is Shop and Save. $14.99 South 3rd. Call them again at 901-946-4303. Been in business since 1991. Shop and Save. $14.99 South 3rd. 901-946-4303 for some of the best soul food you'll ever taste.